Hello, Namaste and Pranam to all. Today we will discuss about the Upaveda, Vedanga, Smriti and Darshana. So this is the second video in the series of Vedic scriptures introduction in English version. So previously in this series of introduction to Vedic scripture we have already discussed about Vedic Samhita, Aranyaka, Brahmana and Upanishad. So in this video we will discuss the latter parts Upaveda, Vedanga, Smriti and Darshana in very brief. So first of all we come to here Upaveda. There are four Upaveda: Dhanurveda, Sthapatya Veda, Gandharva Veda and Ayurveda. So we saw in the previous video that each and every Veda had its own recension, its own branch under which various Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads were introduced. So similarly each and every Veda has its own Upaveda, but it is a matter of debate that which Upaveda is a part of which Veda. So we shall discuss it later in depth. So hereby we will just get to know in brief. So there are four Upaveda. In Dhanurveda we can see, so art and management of war is included in this Upaveda. In Sthapatya Veda, economical content and architecture, planning of cities, planning of temples, architecture of temples, all these architecture of monuments, all these subjects are included in Sthapatya Veda. Gandharva Veda, in this is without any doubt this is a part of Sama Veda, so there is no debate and there is no confusion in this segment. So this is completely dedicated to art and culture. So whatever we see, like in the parade of 26th January, there are various arts and culture exhibitions we used to see. So in that we see music, in that we see dance, different actings, natya, nritya, abhinay, all these are parts of Gandharva Veda. So in Ayurveda, it is very much famous terms nowadays, Ayurveda, and it is completely dedicated to medical science. A holistic health management is a primary subject content of this Upaveda. So next in this series we have Vedanga. So there are 6 Vedangas as we see here, and Vedanga means organs of Veda, and each and every of these Vedanga is an organ of Veda Purush. So we can see Shiksha is nose of Veda Purush, grammar is mouth of Veda Purush, Chand is legs of Veda Purush, Nirukt is known as ear of Veda Purush, but due to its importance to decipher the meaning of Veda Mantra, it is known as soul of Veda Purush also. Jyotish is eye of Veda Purush, and Kalpa is known as hand of Veda Purush. So these are 6 major organs by virtue of which we use to decipher the exact and precise meaning of Veda Mantra and Vedic scriptures. So to understand the correct and precise meaning of Vedic scripture, it is highly recommended to have a sound knowledge of this system, of these 6 Vedanga, without which we cannot dwell into the exact and correct meaning of Veda Mantra, Vedic scripture, and those meanings will not get revealed to us. So first we see here Shiksha. In this phonetics, the teachings of phonetics are included. Pronunciation of mantra, how to pronounce correctly, is a part of Shiksha. Vyakaran, how to write, how to speak, how to read correct, and how to understand the exact meaning of words, so and sentence, these are the subject content of grammar, as we all know. So in this we have Sanskrit grammar, in which Maharshi Panini had written a book named Ashtadhyayi, the 8th chapter book, that is why it is known as Ashtadhyayi, 8 chapters, upon which Maharshi Patanjali had written a extensive commentary over this named as Mahabhashya. So Mahabhashya, it is a complete and extensive commentary over Panini Ashtadhyayi formula or sutra. Upon this, there are so many modern and medieval scholars have written an extensive commentary of Mahabhashya and Panini also, like Brahmadatta Jigyasu, Bhimsen Joshi, and Varadaraj, and other persons, other scholars of Sanskrit grammar. So we do have, there are several books, several written content over the topic of grammar, Sanskrit grammar. So we can learn from there. Next comes to Chanda. So Chanda here, it is termed as the legs of Veda Purush. It contains the structure, architecture of mantra. So it is architecture and structure of mantra actually. Poetic meters, in English poems there are poetic meters. So those meters are included in this. However, it is not limited to these poetic meters only, but also it has been studied from the point of arithmetics, from the point of mathematics. In the medieval era, there were many great mathematicians of ancient India or medieval India who studied the Chanda Shastra from the angle of mathematics. So we shall discuss it in the later videos. Next comes to Nirukta. So Nirukta is known as ear, but due to its importance, it is also known as soul. So what is the importance? Since this helps a lot in the knowing of the precise meaning of the Vedic mantra, it is also referred to as the soul of Veda Purush. It includes the etymological explanation of the words. So it defines actually the etymological explanation of the words. In Jyotish, astrology and astronomical mathematics are the part of astronomical mathematics are the major content of this Jyotish. Prediction about human future, what will happen in the future from the point of an individual person, is a very limited subject content of the Jyotish. So in this, the astronomical and cosmological events which directly connects to human events or in the Vedic scriptures, or to different rites and rituals which we use to perform, or from the architecture of Yajna Kunda, Havan Kunda, and how many bricks will be included in each and every layer of that Yajna Kunda means they all have their foundation from and connection from the astronomical mathematics also. So in this series, last is the Kalpa, in which rites and rituals are included. So there are several rites from pre-birth stage to after death stage. So all those rites and rituals are included in this Vedanga. And the sutra scriptures like Shrauta Sutra, Griha Sutra, Dharma Sutra are the part of this Kalpa Vedanga. Next we go to Smriti. So Smriti, according to sage Yajnavalkya, there are 20 Smritis which are authentic, and earlier it was 20 Smritis, it is written here. Earlier it was 18. Maharishi Yajnavalkya introduced 2 new Smritis in his own era. So as we can see, Laugakshi Smriti is not written here. Deval Smriti is not written here. So there are other Smritis also apart from these 20, and all these are important Smriti, but as per Maharishi Yajnavalkya, only these 20 Smritis are mentioned in his Smriti book. So various acharyas, rishis, seers, sages born in different era, and they were having some different situations before them in his own time, in his own yuga, in the society, and they made regulations as per their own contemporary situations. So all those regulations, ethics, laws, are compiled in these 20 Smritis. So these are the compilation by different sages from different times. So next we come to the Darshana part, in which we'll see the philosophical treatise of ancient India. The philosophical schools which were famous here are included in the Darshana segment. We have 6 schools of ancient school of Hindu philosophy, and one of these is Purva Mimamsa, another one is Uttar Mimamsa. It is also known as Brahma Sutra. One is Sankhya, another is Yoga, Nyaya, and Vaisheshik. So in ancient India, one more philosophical sects were there, Charvak or Lokayat, but this was considered as a non-Vedic philosophical segment. We'll discuss it later in detail, why it was considered non-Vedic and whether it was Vedic or non-Vedic. So we'll discuss it in later video. So here our primary target is to introduce about only these 6 segment of philosophy. So in Purva Mimamsa it is known as simply Mimamsa Darshan, simply Mimamsa, it is written here. So simply Mimamsa also, and this was composed by Maharshi Jaimini, who was a disciple of Maharshi Vedavyas, to whom Samveda was given, as we have already seen. So in this, the Dharma Jigyasa, the content of Dharma, Yajna, and like action, what kind of action to be performed to get the Swarga, all these are the subject content of Purva Mimamsa. In Uttar Mimamsa, it is also known as Brahma Sutra. Their primary target is to know the real and absolute Brahman, Brahma, the Atma Sakshatkara, the moksha, to attain the Brahma Vidya. And it's another target, like Brahma Sutras, another target to decipher the meaning of Upanishad and Vedic mantra also. So if there is any contradiction within the Upanishads, so Brahma Sutra defines that, and it resolves that contradiction, and it means it has an action to perform a synthetic action actually. So it's synthesize the concept of Upanishads. In Sankhya, we see here, which was composed by Maharshi Kapila Muni, and it is, I think, one of the most ancient philosophical segment of ancient India. So we'll discuss it later in the history of Sankhya philosophy. And Maharshi Kapila was also one of the avatar of God Vishnu. So God Vishnu had 24 avatars. One of those is Maharshi Kapila. And what is described in this philosophy, Sankhya philosophy, how to attain, how to find that in practical, that is described in Yoga Darshan, Yoga philosophy, composed by Maharshi Patanjali. Actually, it was not composed by Maharshi Patanjali, it was reformulated by Maharshi Patanjali. So just by reading the text, we cannot attain the supreme goal of Atma Sakshatkar or Brahma Vidya. We need to do something. So what to do and how to do and how that has to be done is elaborated in this Yoga Darshana. So it was actually reformulated by Maharshi Patanjali around 2000, 2300, 400 years ago from now. So the fifth one is the Nyaya Darshana. It was composed by sage Gautama, Maharshi Gautam, and it is what we can see, like in this segment, in this darshana, primarily logical reasoning and analytical philosophy is included in this segment. So it finds the truth by logical analysis. Next we come to Vaisheshika Darshan. It was composed and formulated by Sage Kanad, and from modern era nomenclature and terminology we can say this was the particle physics of ancient India. This was particle physics of ancient India. So it includes the material science, particle physics explanation. It defines the nature and world in its own scientific way, and we can say it is nearer to the particle physics or physical sciences of modern era. So this was the very brief descriptions about Upaveda, Vedanga, Smriti and Darshana segment of the Vedic scripture, and we shall discuss each and every part of this in later videos, in forthcoming videos, and one by one. So stay tuned with us, and do share this content to your friends, to your family, whoever are interested in this, or make them explain this to them in an interesting way. So okay, thank you so much for listening very carefully.